So what we'll do is, let's take a look at it. Gotta get our HTML set up. So I'm just gonna do an H1, the future.
Are you gonna stream while you do this?
Yeah, let me go ahead and get that so it's easier for you guys to see. Got it up there?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm just going to start by putting some basic HTML in. So I got my heading in there, and then I'm just going to put a script. Source, I'm going to make an external. Close that. I think it may say something. I don't know if you have to use Bootstrap or whatever styles, but I'm not going to worry too much about that because I'm going to show you the HTML instead, or I mean the JavaScript instead. So you good with that part?
Yep.
All right. So let's file, new file, future enhanced. Future value enhanced JS. Go ahead and create that file. We'll do use strict, and then it's going to be a do while loop because we want to keep prompting them until they decide they don't want to do anymore. So we'll say let again equal y, and I think we did this on one of the labs already. So we're creating a variable type of let, giving it the name of again. You see this equal sign, we're assigning it the value of y. So we'll do a do loop, and we're going to say let investment equals 0, and inside that do we're going to do another do while loop. Do investment equals parse float. Using a float in case they put it in as $sign as like 1000.00 or whatever. This way we can handle it if they do. We're going to prompt them. I'm going to say enter investment amount as I would say enter investment amount. I will say give them 10,000 to start out with. And I will say while is not a number. We're going to check and make sure the investment is a number. Or investment is less than or equal to 0. So that's prompting us for our investment. So then we need one for our rate. Let rate equal 0. We're going to do another do for this to prompt them each time. Parse float. And we're going to prompt them. Enter and interest rate. And then we'll give them 7.5. As a rate. We'll say do that while is not a number. Rate, since that's what we're going to check there. In the book, does it say anything about a max value for the rate or anything like that? Rate. If not, we'll just top it off at 15% just in case. I think my former example shows it as that, but if it doesn't, no big deal. Why do I keep hitting the wrong thing? So we'll say, well, it's not a number, rate is less than or equal to 0, or rate is greater than or equal to 15, then go ahead and stop.
I think the rate is either 7.5, yeah. Yeah, the rate's 7.5.
Okay. So then, now we need our years. So we'll do let years equals 0. Do, again, we're gonna prompt them. We'll just do a parse int here because most of the time you can't split your years up, it's a full year, so prompt enter number of years. And then we can just put it as 10 here, or you can put whatever you want. And then put a while. Checking to make sure they're actually putting numbers in. What that is not a number. After that, we're going to print our stuff out to the screen. And there's that document.write we talked about. Document is the object. Document is our HTML page, and we're writing to that page. To do that, we use our little tick mark there for our string literals, or our C# we call it string interpolation. I kind of like that word better. So we'll do, I don't care, an H4 heading. We'll say investment amount equals, again, because we're using those tick marks, we can just throw our variables right in there. Investment amount equals that. We'll do interest rate. Interest rate equals $rate years equals close our H4. So with our code here, what we're doing is, as this runs through, it's going to write down our investment amount, show our investment rate, and our years. So after that, we'll do a let future value. Future value equals investment. For let I equal 1, I is less than or equal to years, increment I. So this is gonna, as they put in the years, this is gonna loop through our number of years and pull it out of there. And we're gonna do future value let's do let interest equal future value times rate divided by 100. And then we'll do future value plus equal interest, and then we're going to write this out. Paragraph label, and then we'll say year equals $. Since we're in a for loop, what do you think our year is going to equal?
I'm going to say I.
Yep.
Wait, it is?
Yep.
That.
Since we're getting those values out of that loop, I is our incrementer, so we're going to be pulling those values out as we go through.
Which the year's I? Yeah, we already have that.
Yep, interest. Interest equals $, interest. Interest that, and we're going to do it to fixed here to keep the decimal points to 2. And then we'll do a value equals future value. I'm going to do a to fixed on this also, just to limit it to 2 and make it look good. Gotta close our label and then close our paragraph. Put a semicolon at the end of that. After that, we're gonna do our again and ask them if they want to do it again. Again, you want to tell them what they need to do to break that loop if they don't want to keep putting stuff in. And then finally, we need to end our while loop. That's what our little red squiggly is down here. It's saying, hey, you're doing a do loop. You need a while to end it. So let's do while again is equal to. Again, we need 2 equal signs to make sure it's equal to something and not assigning it a value. Equal to y. So if we look through the code again real quick before we run it, we're declaring a variable type of let, naming it again, giving the value y. We're going to do a do while loop. So inside our do, we're going to do an investment, make it a let, give it a name of investment equals 0. We're going to do a do for that. So it's going to keep coming up with that. Do one for the rate, and it will break if investment's not a number or investment is less than or equal to 0. Same with the rate, or if the rate is greater than or equal to 15. We do a prompt number of years. As long as years is a number, we'll be okay. If it's not, it'll stop our loop. We're going to print out our heading here with our initial amounts that we put in. Then we're going to do a for loop to loop through the number of years that the user enters. And each time it does, it's going to put out the year, the interest, and our future value.
Mr. G, I may have a little typo issue. Did you just put that document.write?
You got the tick mark, or are you using a single quote?
No, I got a tick mark. It's just on the dot to fix it. It seemed like it like another bracket, and that can just mess it up. Oh, this is a common.
You got a capital T or a lowercase t for that to fixed?
Lowercase t. Fix it. Like it's like a curly bracket. I expect it like curly bracket, but I don't see it fully.
All right, I'll take a look. All right, so to fixed We're telling it we only want it to go 2 decimal spots. And this toFix is a method, so after the fix it has to be a parenthesis and then the number of spaces that we want it to cut it off at. So make sure those are parentheses and not curly brackets or anything else. And then after all that runs, we have another prompt come up and ask if we want to repeat. If we say yes, it goes back to the top and we'll run back through and keep doing that until we put a no in there. When we put the N for no, then it will break the code and stop and do what we need it to do. So let's go back over to our HTML. We'll open it with live server. Should have a thing up top here. The future value calculator enhanced is our heading we put in. What's the lab call for? Bring it back up here real quick. So I think the first one is what, 7.5 years for 5 years?
Yeah, something like that.
7.5 years. So $10,000. We'll leave it at that. 7.5%, and we'll put 5 years in there instead of 10. We'll hit OK. There's our prompt like we expect. Do we want to do it again? Yeah, we'll run it one more time. We'll hit OK. The next set is what, $10,000 with a 8.5% interest rate. 10,000. We'll do 8.5. Whoops, 8.5% interest rate. At what, 6 years? So we'll OK that. We want 6 years here. Let's OK that. Do we want to repeat it? No, we'll stop here since that's what the rubric's showing us. We'll stop it at N. There's our printout, and hopefully that matches the rubric. Zoom in a little bit. So our rubric is showing initial investment amount. Investment amount is 10,000. Interest rate 7.5. Years is 5. That looks good. Our first year interest is 750. Then 806.25, 806.72, or 866, 866.72, 931.72, and $1,001.60. So our value is 107.50, 11,556.25, 12,422.97, 13,354. That all looks good. We'll go take a look at the second one down there. Interest amount 10, or investment amount 10,000. Interest rate 8.5. Years is 6. Year 1, our interest is $850 for a value of $10,850. Interest, year 2, interest is $922.25 to give you $11,772.25. Interest rate the third year is $1,000.64 for $12,772.89. Interest the fourth year, $1,085.70. So if we keep looking through the rubric, it all looks like it's coming out right. And let's go back in here. Where's what I was looking for? And let's put a $sign in front. We don't want that in years. We want it interest to show these are dollar values. Investment amount. Don't care about that. There, now as we run this again, I'll save this. Go back and look. We can do it again real quick. Okay, yes, let's do it again. 10,000. This is 8.5, and this is 6. We want to know there. So now we got dollar signs on it. Cleans it up a little bit. You can tell we're working with money here now instead of just some numbers. So that's how you do that first lab, chapter 3, lab 1.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. I will put that out on YouTube here in a little bit. So in case you need it as a refresher, it'll be out there. Any questions or comments about that? What it's doing?
No, sir.
Okay.